Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the utmost character of our world around us. And today, after we had two two episodes, one can say, about Russia and the Ukrainians, so-called Ukrainians, now we can start analyzing another issue. I mean, there is idea in some influential circles in London and in Washington, that they would like to build a sort of union between Poland, Ukraine, maybe Belarus, Lithuania, and separate Russia from Germany. Yeah, and of course there is a propaganda material that serves for support for this idea. This is the historical connection, these people say, to so-called Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, so Jagiellonian Poland, so Poland under the Jagiellonian dynasty and later. So as I said, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and someone tries to lure us with this vision. I mean, lure us Polish, Ukrainians, and Lithuanians, and maybe Belarusians, to reunite again. I will be, as always, as frank as possible. In current circumstances, as I mentioned in many of my previous videos, when Lithuanian identity was built by German activists on the land called Żmudź and Augstota, not even Lithuania, because this was historically Lithuania. This is nowadays middle and northern Belarus. So nowadays Lithuanians are the product of 19th century German money and activity by the activists, education and huge propaganda. And their identity, of course, because the easiest is to build identity against someone, so their identity was built strongly against Polish identity and Russian identity. We see it how nowadays Lithuania treats Polish minority on their territory and Russian minority, and somehow European Union authorities do not complain about it. But if something even not so similar, something much weaker and smaller happens somewhere else, there are always thunders, condemnations, and so on thrown from Berlin and Brussels. Yeah, because Germans do not want to punish their own ideological kids, because they might be useful in battling other nations in so-called Middle Europa, so Middle Europe, that Germany considers as its own sphere of influence. Analogical situation, but even more anti-Polish, is in case of Ukrainian identity. As I said, their identity was built firstly on the idea of being anti-Polish. That's why Ukrainian chauvinism, called Banderism, after their ideologue Stefan Bandera, and second one Dmitry Donchev. The followers of these ideologies are the most represented in so-called nowadays Western Ukraine. In the central and eastern, not much. So we see that it corresponds nicely to the territory of former Austrian and later Austro-Hungarian partition of Poland, where first Germans and later it was handed over quickly by Habsburg agents, were working hard to divide Slavic masses on their territory, and in this case the easiest line of division was religion, because Russians and their descendants are and were those days also Orthodox. Polish in vast majority are still in those days also were Catholics. So that is why, thanks to these activities, in the second half of 19th century, Lithuanian nation as a opposition to Poland and to Russia was created, and Ukrainian nation as a main opposition against Poland and to lesser extent against Russia, was created as well. That is why such union done mechanically and quickly nowadays is not possible, and it will end up with quick balkanization and conflict between these states united by force. The problem is, even today, we see Poland helped in a stupid way Ukrainians so much, and now Ukrainians, of course, are going to the nation that they were ally with during Second World War, and Germany also, partly Germans and Austrians created them, so they are dreaming about collaboration with Germany. They only used and abused Polish help. This is Polish stupidity, because we forgot about strong connections of even Ukrainian identity with German entity. And this is true. That is why to rebuild Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in the future, I also mentioned this once, we would need to establish cultural influence, develop our economy, have a lot of money, many enterprises, very good science, very well, I would say, irradiating culture, because for people living in Eastern Europe, Polish culture is still attractive. And then we should create schools in which we would create the future elites of this country. And then, after some generations, we could dominate them culturally and economically, but we should be an independent country, and unite them under our protectorates and build a sort of federation, later maybe a state. But this is work for generations, very wise generations, not like these generations that exist today. This is how I see it. Nowadays, this union for the geopolitical purposes, as some powers from the West want to do it, is impossible, and it will finish badly. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.